Hi students, this is Regina. I am going to change up what we're doing slightly starting in Module 9. So I am providing you directions early for those of you that start doing your readings on the weekend and doing your deeper dives. So for Module 9, we're going to see how this goes. I just want you to do a deeper dive on one resource and just share one resource in the collective bibliography. I want you to use a resource from the tools and resources section here. So when you go to tools and resources, and you go down past the study tools, I have put a lot of development resources that it seems like no one has really utilized yet. So what I want is, I don't want you to just put in the collective bibliography and just to say, oh, I use the CDC's Learn the Signs, Act Early campaign. What I want you to do is actually go to that website, explore it, and then pick one specific web page or one material PDU that you were able to download. So when you reference it, definitely reference the overall website, but then give the link to the specific page. And then if you downloaded a material, say what material that you're actually utilizing. Okay, because there's lots of great resources on specific development that I have shared. And then for Module 9, I also want your posts, your blog posts or your VoiceThread posts, so your reflection, to be specifically on the development that we're studying that week. So Module 9 is on school-age children, emotional and social development. So what I want you to do is find a resource about that, or that helps you understand one of those theories or one of the stages of Piaget or Erikson for school-age children. So that would be more Erikson because it's emotional and social development, it's not cognitive development. And I want you to give me an example in your reflection post from your practicum of either a patient, a sibling, a cousin, whatever, that was a school-age child that you were able to say, based on these behaviors that I observed, or based on this interaction I had with the child, or this interaction I observed that they had with the parent or the nurse or my child life specialist I'm working with, I believe that they are developmentally on target as a school age for emotional and social development, or they are not, and what stage of Erikson they are in. I also want you to add, since the week before was physical and cognitive development, I want you to do kind of a total school age developmental assessment and say what stage of Piaget of cognitive development they would be at and what stage of physical development they would be at. So, and I want specific as evidenced by 3 specific things. You should all have an opportunity to see school-age patients in your practicum. And you can go back to your journal if you don't. If for some reason you're like, Regina, I have not seen a school-age patient in my entire semester so far of practicum. I would be hesitant to believe that. Not a patient or a sibling or anything. And this could also be if you've been helping with a special event, if you helped with Bucky Bingo or medical bingo or another special event at the hospital. Then B, I want you to make up an example and tell me this is an example I've made up, but if I had a patient and it needs to be child life, hospital, or clinic based, so you can use whatever setting you're in, the OR, the ED, inpatient, and I had a patient come to the ED, or I had a patient come to sedation clinic or to the OR or wherever you happen to be, I would know that they're developmentally on target as a school ager based on these behaviors that I would see in the hospital or interact with them. And then tell me what level of Piaget, what level of Erikson they'd be at, and describe it and prove it based on specific examples of evidence. Okay, specific examples. So we're going to try that for Module 9, and we're going to see how that goes. And we might continue with that for the adolescent development modules, just to make sure that you're really connecting those basic Piaget and Erikson, which what you're seeing in your practicum. Yes. And I have again assigned for Module 9 who is doing what in what group. So we have blogs and VoiceThread, blogs and apparently VoiceThread. I need to edit that. I will edit that. And this, I know for some of you, VoiceThread has been good and easy. For some of you, we've had some technology kinks to work out, but this is to work out the kinks now. So in future assignments, you can utilize VoiceThread for either this class or future classes when it's required. And VoiceThread is also how you're going to upload your group project, your Piaget-Erikson group project, unless for some reason you have it on YouTube or another format. So that is dual module 10 already. So you need to be starting to communicate with me if you're going to be able to upload it into VoiceThread and talk it through, if you're going to have to do YouTube and then talk it through on a PowerPoint, or what your plans are, or if you guys are having any trouble. So definitely do not wait the night before it's due to troubleshoot those things and to communicate them with me. Proactive communication is the best. And I'm super excited to see those. And then we're also almost done. We're at our second week. We're coming up on our second week of school age. And then we have 2 weeks of adolescence. And then you should be able to go from 0 to 18 and do a developmental assessment on a patient. So if you don't feel like you could do a developmental assessment on a patient, or really any child in any setting, you should be an expert in child development or getting there, then I would highly suggest going back to some of these CDC's Watch Me developmental trainings and resources, milestones in action. These are free library photos and videos showing milestones, the Learn the Signs, Act Early, and talking with me if there's a specific area of Piaget, Erikson, or Bronfenbrenner, or a specific age. Like, I'm still really uncomfortable with how to assess preschoolers with their emotional development or their social development, or school agers with their cognitive development. You need to be communicating that with me, and we really need to work on it, because by the end of Module 11, we're now done with all the developmental ages and stages for 0 to 18. So you really need to be comfortable with those, and you should be showing those, demonstrating that to your practicum supervisor when they come out of a room and say, what developmental level do you think that child's at, or how do you think that child's doing? You should be referencing Piaget and Erikson by memory. And if you're seeing a family really stressed that has a chronic illness or an injury in, you can utilize Bronfenbrenner's theory to show why a family is stressed, or how a patient is affecting the whole family or school. You need to be doing that, but you definitely need to be referencing Piaget and Erikson by memory. For those that have questions about what's on the final exam, I've only had one student ask me that privately. I'm kind of shocked that we're halfway through and no one has brought that up or asked that. So if you have questions already, you can definitely be asking. I will definitely put out a brief study guide. And when I say study guide, it means I'm not going to give you the information. I'm just going to give you like a bulleted list and say, you need to know Piaget, Erikson, Bronfenbrenner, this. There can be things that aren't in the study guide that are on the exam, but everything on the study guide is for sure going to be on the exam. I usually give that out in a written form, so I'd email that to you like the last week or two of classes. But if you want to start talking about it before, definitely let me know, or email me, or ask me before or after Wednesday nights, or make an appointment or whatever. And we will talk about next week when we're actually physically going to give the exam during finals week. It is written, it is not open book. And I can tell you for sure at this point, you will have a blank page, one blank page for Erikson, and you need to be able to write out all the stages, the names of the stages, the ages they cover, and the description of the stage with an example, a hospital or clinic example of how you would know a child is in that stage, specific. The same with Piaget, a blank page, and be able to write it out. And the same with Brofenbrenner, a blank page, be able to explain the theory, be able to give me the circles with all the systems and the names and examples of what is in that system, and then be able to give me specific examples from a child with a chronic illness or an injury or something you would encounter as a child life specialist in a traditional hospital clinic setting. Okay, so that gives you some basics to start working on, but please be proactive in your communication. And we will try that for Module 9 and probably for the rest of 10 and 11, but we'll definitely try it for 9 and see how it goes. If you need any more clarification about that, please email me or stop in the office or make an appointment. But again, I'm going to summarize again. One resource, your collective bibliography, but it needs to be from the tools and resources, but you need to do deeper than just, I utilized CDC's Watch Me website. You need to give me the specific kind of web page or article or module or resource that you downloaded and what you utilized. And then you need to give me an example from your practicum, from your hospital setting of a patient or a sibling or cousin, and give me an assessment of their emotional, social, physical, and cognitive development of a school ager and specific evidence and examples why, and what Piaget and Erikson level that they are at. All right. I hope everyone has a great weekend. I've started looking at the reflections on VoiceThread and the blogs. I'm always reading them. I try to hang back on comments because I want to let you guys comment and I don't want to commandeer the conversation. But they're looking good, and I'll definitely make comments as needed, either in the group or sometimes I make comments individually to learners when I put in the grade to students. So I'll definitely make comments. And yeah, have a great weekend. I'm excited to read everyone's reflections and discussions. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.